How old are you when you're obsessed with David Bowie and Doc Martens? I'm
5.
Screw you, man. You're
No,
way too
5.
cool.
Well, we have 2 cool guests today, the stars of Weird, Daniel Radcliffe and Evan Rachel Wood. And we've got the stories that define the week on People in 10. I'm Mako Ndlovu, and I am so excited to be the new host of People in 10, bringing you everything you need to know about pop culture right now. Got 10 minutes on the clock, let's get started with the first 5. Starting with the behind-the-scenes split that shook the sports world.
A source tells People that Tom Brady didn't want to divorce Gisele Bündchen. The insider said that he didn't want his kids to have divorced parents.
And it seems like the star quarterback fumbled any chance of reconciliation.
According to our source, Gisele had already given Tom a lot of chances to fix things between them. Eventually, he was ready to try therapy and marriage counseling, but for Gisele, it was too little, too late.
In his first interview since the divorce was finalized, Tom admitted his personal struggles have previously spilled into football.
You focus at work when it's time to work, and then when you come home, you focus on the priorities that are at home, and all you can do is the best you could do.
Meanwhile, Gisele is taking it all in stride.
A source close to the supermodel tells People that it was hard at first, but she's lived her own life for years and is, quote, not afraid to do things by herself.
And another famous family has a big milestone to share.
Lily is just started walking. She's a year and a couple months old.
Meghan and Harry's youngest is on the move.
Oh, I'm in the thick of it.
In a conversation on her podcast with actress Pamela Adlon, Meghan also described her, Harry, Archie, and Lily's morning rush.
I make breakfast for all 3 of them. It's very important to me. I love doing it. It feels like a whirlwind.
Also, I hope Daddy's being a good contributor to like the kid time, because
Oh, my husband? Oh, he's great.
And we loved seeing some of our favorite celebs' family Halloween costumes. Donald Faison's daughter paid homage to her dad.
I hate when you call me woman.
Where you been all weekend? What's up?
While Neil Patrick Harris, David Burtka, Gideon, and Harper indulged as iconic fast food characters. Northwest and her friends showed off their performance skills as TLC.
I don't want no scrub.
And her aunt, Khloe Kardashian, made headlines with the first glimpse of her 3-month-old son. He dressed as Tigger and was proudly held by his big sister, True, or should we say, Owlette. And as another Halloween comes to a close, the Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey, is going from spooky chic to a Santa suit.
It's time.
As she officially kicks off the holiday season. Valerie Bertinelli is cringing at a memory from her youth with a little help from Taylor Swift.
It's me.
In a new TikTok, Valerie used the song Anti-Hero to react to Matthew Perry's claim that they made out in the 90s next to Valerie's passed out husband at the time, Eddie Van Halen. And tributes are pouring in across social media this week for Migos rapper Takeoff, who died at the age of 28 after a shooting Tuesday in Houston. Drake, Ja Rule, Keke Palmer, and BB Rexha were among the stars mourning his loss. Moving on to a story that you've been following closely on People.com.
Who paid for the hospital bill?
Okay, her research is very good.
Julia Roberts revealed a little-known detail about her life to Gayle King.
It all happened during a sit-down conversation with History Talks back in September, but a video tweeted by Zara Rahim has since gone viral with more than 40,000 likes.
The King family paid for my hospital bill.
Not my family.
Not your family, but
Martin Luther King Jr.
and Coretta.
Roberts explained that the Kings paid for her birth because her parents couldn't afford to.
The friendship between the families began because her parents had a theater school in Atlanta.
One day, Coretta Scott King called my mother and asked if her kids could be part of the school.
Roberts said the King family had a hard time finding somewhere that would accept their children.
My mom was like, sure, come on over. And so they just all became friends and they helped us out of a jam.
In this week's People cover story, we're catching up with Fixer Upper star Joanna Gaines.
I realize as humans, like when we really take hold of our story and write it down, there's so much healing that can come from that.
The 44-year-old found clarity in writing her first solo memoir, The Stories We Tell. And for Joanna, part of living more freely is letting go of taking life too seriously.
Sometimes we joke, I'm a control freak. Okay, we don't even joke. It's like anybody in the room when they're like, oh, there's Joe. I like to say I just care a lot. I want to live it lighter. I want to live it more free in a way that it's not wrapped up in things like perfectionism or performance or approval or all the things.
Now, let's move on to screen time. I am so excited to be joined by Daniel Radcliffe and Evan Rachel Wood, who are starring in Weird, the Al Yankovic story, premiering November 4th on the Roku channel.
Oh, my little hungry one. Hungry one. Open up a package of my banana.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you 5 questions. For question number 1, you'll give me 1 answer. Question number 2, you'll give me 2 answers, and so on and so forth. Let's get to it. Now, these are very iconic people.
Do I know you?
Madonna. So name 1 way that you got into character.
Playing and learning the accordion was definitely something that really helped, that made me feel the most like Al, I think.
I love it.
I had Madonna interviews and music videos sort of just on repeat for about a month.
Do you have a favorite song of Madonna's?
Express Yourself. I have met Madonna before and we've gotten along quite well, but I assumed that they had her permission when we started filming, and then I found out sort of in the midst of filming that they didn't, and I thought, oh, well, this should be interesting to see how she reacts.
Hope you guys are ready for this.
Okay, so Weird Al makes a couple of cameos in the movie. We won't give anything away, but name 2 memories that you have of interacting on set with him.
There was one day we had on set where we just, for whatever reason, had like 15 minutes of nothing to do, and me and Al could like chill. And so I just like went over to him and started asking him about the song Bob, which is a song that he wrote that's completely full of, it's just palindromes back to back for the whole song.
God, he's such a genius.
And so I was asking him about if he had found them himself or how he came up with them, and he was explaining that he hadn't and that a lot of palindromists had. And it was just like a cool, nerdy conversation that I was getting to have with Al.
Certainly my first day of shooting, I don't think I knew that he was gonna be there, and then I kept seeing the hair sort of like go around a corner or like sort of brush back, and I kept kind of looking around. I was like, is Al here?
Weird Al is known for his comedic parodies, singing about everything from Rocky Road ice cream to everything in between. So what are 3 objects that he should feature in a new song? And you can ping pong between the 2 of you.
Lego. I feel like that's ripe, and I feel like there's probably a huge amount of love for Al in the Lego community. Yeah. I'm just guessing.
I don't know why my first thought was a spork, but then I thought, is that already in a Weird Al song?
No, it's spatulas. So, but sporks feel like maybe a new extension of that. I think that's good.
Yeah, it feels like a Weird Al tool that needs to be utilized.
Smoke alarms, just because I've seen one.
He's looking at one in the room. Are you just looking around the room and naming the things that you've seen?
No.
As depicted in the movie, Weird Al was obsessed with his accordion when he was young. So I'm going to ask you for 2 things, 4 in total, that you were obsessed with when you were young.
David Bowie. Pretty obsessed.
Wolves.
Really?
Yeah, still am. They're awesome. Wolves are great.
Wolves are pretty cool.
They're great, man. They're very loyal, but they're independent. They're what's
all different kinds of wolves, like snow wolves,
timber wolves, grey wolves, Arctic wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's not a bad wolf.
Interesting.
I always like, whenever the wolves are supposed to be the villain in something, I'm always really rooting for the wolves. Yeah.
Doc Martens. Yeah, I always had a pair. Doc Martens, yeah.
In England, you had like football. You had like sticker books. I don't know if they have versions of them here, but like that you would put stickers of all like the soccer players in and like try and complete all the teams throughout the year. I was really obsessed with that. Are we doing different ages? How old are you when you're obsessed with David Bowie and Doc Martens?
5.
Screw you, man. You're
No,
way too cool.
5. Well, 5. not the Doc Martens, but 5 is when I got into David Bowie because I saw Labyrinth.
Dance, magic dance.
And then became obsessed.
Right, yeah, fair enough.
So, and then the Doc Martens came in. Well, that was more like 4th, 5th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And give us 5 reasons that everyone should watch Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
First off, the accuracy, obviously.
Yes,
like if you want to know what really happened to Weird Al.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. Weird Al Yankovic. I love it.
What, just because of the music?
Like a surgeon.
That's great. The cameos?
Cameos for sure. The costumes.
Costumes. And
To laugh.
to love.
I think Madonna's a bad influence on you.
Daniel and Evan, thank you so much for joining me. Everyone, be sure to watch Weird, the Al Yankovic story when it's available November 4th on the Roku channel. All right, time's up. We'll see you back here next Thursday.